Hi everybody, Dave from Dave Specialty Foods here. I hope everybody's cool and healthy, and I know you're cool now because it's cold outside and you're staying warm at home and eating good foods and just trying to generally be good to yourself through food and cooking and having fun. And anybody who's seen me before doing demos, thanks for watching again. And we miss doing these in person. We're gonna put this video up in lieu of doing an in-person demonstration that I miss so much. Maggie, who's filming now and getting really good at this, is missing a lot. And we miss the kind of prepping and getting in the van on a cold day and driving somewhere and doing a demo or doing something in our shop. And it's all gone now, and it's been gone, and it's going to continue to be gone. So we all are familiar with that, and it kind of sucks. But in lieu of that, we got these cool videos going on, and I hope you enjoy this. And we're getting a lot of good feedback on any others we've done. And there's a few of these that you can kind of catch up on if you want to kind of look up on YouTube and see other videos that we do. And I think they offer something a little bit different because we're cooking stuff in real time. So we're going to cut this sweet potato. We're going to boil the sweet potato. We're going to mash the sweet potato. There's no mystery meat going on here that, oh, underneath the counter here, it's all done and cooked. And there's no commercials. And you don't have to pay anything. So win-win-win. There is a lose here, because only we get to eat the food. We're gonna go over a lot of different techniques, which I think is the key to everything, because anybody can cook. Anybody can cook. Problem is, a lot of us have a fear for it because we've cut a sweet potato before and maybe you nicked your finger, or you undercooked it and it was kind of stringy and you said, I'm done with that, I'm not cooking sweet potatoes anymore. We're gonna take some of the mystery out of that, and we're gonna tell you some of the things that you have to use, or you wanna stick with things like fresh herbs. We're going to use fresh sage, and I have up here, if I reach up here, this nasty, zoom in on that nasty thing. It's got dust on it. There's actually spices in here. Look at this. There's actually, oh God, it's disgusting. We don't use that for our stuffing or for turkey or gravy or anything. And if you've been using it, you're missing out, and you got to get forward with that. And it's not like coming up into the 20th century. It's just, we've had fresh herbs a heck of a lot longer than we've had this. Right? This came first, this came in the middle, and let's get rid of this and use these, okay? We're gonna make sure we use real maple syrup. We're gonna make sure we use good dried cranberries, good cheese, that kind of thing. We're gonna make some mashed potatoes with a sweet potato cooked separately. So it's kind of two recipes in one. And we're gonna swirl them together so you kind of have this classic mashed potato, but with a little twist going on. Because the sweet potatoes are twisted in. Sometimes I gotta explain it for something. We're gonna roast an acorn squash. I'm kind of throwing this in. I wasn't planning on doing this, but I just literally 5 minutes ago ate a half an acorn squash, just plain roasted, kind of the one I was supposed to use for our demo, and it was so good. It's basically you just cut it and you throw it in the oven. Okay, we'll show you that. We're gonna make some cranberry sauce with fresh cranberries. Okay, look at this. It's like a little kid in a play ball gym of play balls. Okay, boy, that's gone, huh? Like, think about 5 years now. Remember the gyms with the play balls, Fresh cranberries, not out of a can, okay? So, we're gonna make some stuffing with fresh vegetables, fresh bread. So yes, I do get insistent on what we use for this. We're gonna use my friend's fresh bread with 3 ingredients in it, and we're not gonna use cut up, chopped, stove-top stuffing. We're gonna blow that off. We're gonna make some shredded Brussels sprouts, so kind of old school Brussels sprouts, kind of grandma style. We're going to show you how we cut them, and we're going to shred them and cook them with Parmesan cheese and cranberries, and make kind of a little savory with a little touch of sweetness and chewiness with the cranberries. Then I'm going to show you how to carve your turkey. We're going to use a chicken because I can't find turkeys right now, but we're going to show you how to properly carve your turkey. Little secret here, probably 99% of you have been doing it wrong. My grandpa was doing it wrong. My dad did it wrong. Usually the guys cut the turkey. I don't know what. They kind of get up from the couch after doing nothing all day, and then they cut the turkey. It makes the guys feel better. And I had an epiphany about 10 years ago that we need to cut this turkey a different way. It's going to freak your family out if you do it, but I'm going to show you why. So already you can probably see me as I'm talking. My glasses are fogging up from these new potatoes that are cooking. Okay, so let me show you this. Look at all these new potatoes. I don't really know where the new comes from, but sometimes they call it red beet potatoes or something. Some people like to use the little white Yukons. If you're gonna make mashed potatoes, you cannot take an Idaho potato. You never make mashed potatoes from that. Never make a mashed potato from that. It's wrong, it shouldn't be done. And there's some of you going, turn the video off. No good, Dave's crazy. Yes, I'm crazy. Okay, a side note. But that russet potato is not a boiling potato. It's a russet baking potato. You bake it and you cut it open and it's fluffy and dry, You never boil that potato, terrible, okay? So we've got our new potatoes boiling here. Those are already almost finished. I don't want you to cook these together. I want you to cook the sweet potato separately. Cook that on its own because it's got a cooking time. As soon as it boils, it's about 5 minutes. This is done. These are about 45 minutes. So we don't want to mash these together. We don't want to cook them together because we want to make sure these are done and this is done, and then we're going to mix them. And you don't have to mix them. I'm not telling you what to do, but you got to mix them because they're so good. So I just cut the top and bottom. I want to show you how we cut some things because I don't want to just take for granted that everybody knows how to cut. So I'm sawing it. We don't want to cut like that. Okay, we want to saw it like this, okay? We're going to cut straight down here and we're going to make yourself a flat surface. Oh, we got to ease this, okay? So get on top of that knife. See that? Okay, so we get on top and we push down, okay? And then I'm going to cut kind of fairly even sized chunks here, okay? You don't want to have a giant chunk and a little chunk because that's going to be uncooked and that's going to be overcooked, okay? So make these all about the same size. Okay, come to your edge of your cutting board, fill it up. Let's go get some water in it. So we got our sweet potatoes in water. That's going to come to a quick boil. And this will literally take 5-6 minutes. So as soon as these are done, we're gonna mash them, okay? And I'm gonna talk about timing as we cook things. When should you cook them? There's a lot of things that are very overwhelming for people when it comes to Thanksgiving. I don't know why. The rest of the year, people are a little bit stressed out, but fine. All of a sudden, Thanksgiving, oh my God! That's why I'm in business, okay? If you need any dishes like this, come to my shop. Look at my website. We have this stuff available. Let's get these boiling. Next, we're gonna roast our acorn squash. So, here's an acorn squash. This is a fairly average size. They do get a little bit bigger than this, but this is I think, a really nice size to cut. We don't want to roast this whole. If there's a recipe that you see that roasts this whole, don't do it. You have to cut this open to get it roasted. Okay, now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna just aim closely here, okay? And we can either whack it. I'm a little bit off center, but I'll take it. You can always reset. You can always just move your squat. Oh, that's a nicer cut. Just reset. See how nice and even knife? Leave your knife in there and leave this down. What you can do is be careful. I pound this a couple times. If you don't want to pound it with that, find a little steel like this or something. Pound it in there like that, like a knife sharpener. Get it in there. Look at that. So I'm about, I don't know, 2 inches into the squash. Don't go slamming it down on the counter like that. No good. Okay, it doesn't look good. We're gonna just hold the top of the knife. We're gonna stand over it. And we're just going to get our knife where we know the only place this will go is down. See, my knife cannot come sideways or anything now. And we're just going to push on it. See how easy it is? We're just going to scoop out these little seed guys here, okay? Scoop this, I just leave it right on here because you get the seeds will roast themselves, okay? And you can kind of munch on them. We're just going to let the seeds cook just like that. We're not going to even clean them. And a lot of this stringy stuff that's in, you see that stringy stuff? So pull a little bit of that out of there. We're going to take some salt and pepper. My salt is mixed with pepper. See, it's got these little dark spots in it. Come up high, salt, like it rain. It should rain down salt. It kind of rains down and everything gets coated with salt evenly. Get your pepper milk going, okay? Then we're gonna put about a tablespoon of syrup, okay? Maple syrup comes from a tree. It doesn't come from a bottle or a jar. If 100 people are watching this video, probably 82 of you have like Aunt Jemima or something like that. There's no maple syrup in it at all. It's just corn syrup with caramel color. It's disgusting. Maple syrup has one ingredient, maple. That's it. We're gonna take about, I don't know, half a tablespoon of butter in each one, okay? And the butter, and it's kind of nice because now it looks like a lot of butter, but when it cooks, all the butter cooks inside the squash, and all the butter's gone. You don't even see it anymore. 375, uncovered. Set it for half an hour. We're gonna show you how it looks. Okay, so we've got our potatoes boiling. We've got our sweet potatoes that are coming to a boil in about probably 30 seconds, 40 seconds. We've got our acorn squash. Remember, we cut it in half. Didn't cut my fingers. So real time here. This is how we're gonna start flowing through our kind of prep, okay? We're gonna cook some cranberry sauce now, okay? This takes like, I don't know, start to finish like 15 minutes. There's certain things that you have to buy now. By November 15th, buy your celery because there's just no more celery in the store. Everybody goes slaughtering the store from Monday to Wednesday, Thanksgiving week, thinking that they're gonna find all the basics, and you can't. Things like cranberries, get them now. Throw them in the freezer and you have them. Or cook your cranberries now. Cooked cranberries will last like a year in the thing. I said it, there it is, I said it. It'll last a year. Don't be afraid, okay? Think about it, it's real tart, it's sour, it's like toothpaste. The sucker's not gonna go bad on you. In goes some cranberries in here, okay? I could make all these, but we'll just make about let's call that 2 cups of cranberries. I'm gonna put about a 1/4 cup of sugar in here, okay? Don't be too much sugar because then it's so super sweet like the canned stuff. I want a kind of sweet and sour flavor here. I'm gonna put some juice. Now, if you see one of my recipes, I'd probably say orange juice or apple juice, something like that. You need some kind of juice in here to get it kind of boiling, okay? The cranberries are gonna juice out. I'm using apple cider. Then we go about a 1/4 cup of juice. This is gonna come to a boil, and we're gonna let you hear it. The cranberries are gonna start popping a little bit. And you'll hear them just start, see the potato kind of bursts open. Cranberries do the exact same thing. And when they start popping open, you're gonna stir it, and it's done. It's that easy, okay? Go right in here, give this a little stir. One thing you gotta make sure that you've got a good pan. It's very thick. It's got a riveted on handle. It's like an all-clad style pan where there's different metals in here. The reason I'm saying that is because if you're gonna cook something like cranberries, which start to get thick and sugary, they're gonna burn in a lousy pan. All this has got to do is boil. We're gonna keep stirring it. Look at this. Keep your spoons in your pans. This is how Thanksgiving is gonna start looking here. We're gonna start getting busy here. My cranberries are starting to, I don't know if you can hear them, but they're starting to pop in here. We're gonna let those cook, okay? Put them on high. When they start really boiling away, we got our spoon, we're ready to stir. So we're gonna make stuffing. We're gonna do a little saute action here now. Saute is actually jumping around in the pan. So we're gonna get my pan here, my little nice pan here. It's about a 2 quart maybe. Let's get some heat going in here. We've got onions, carrots, celery, and garlic. I'm showing you here chopped carrots, okay? Cut them ahead. They're gonna turn color, whatever. It's Thanksgiving. You need carrots. Chop 5, 10 carrots, whatever. Get them done on Monday. You got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday to saute these. Let's take some onions out. I have a pan here that's very hot next to my face, and but it's dry. There's nothing in it. Put some onions in here. Then remember, we're making stuffing now. And pan over to the cranberries. Look at that. You can hear it boiling and it's popping. And look at how the cranberries kind of burst open like that. And they're real juicy now. But in about 3-4 minutes, they'll be done. They're almost done. We got our onions sauteed. Now see how it's sizzling? We're gonna put some celery. It's gonna sizzle more. Some carrots. By the way, I cut these veggies myself about 2 days ago. Not for the demo, although I do care about you. But for my own use, okay? This is a daily routine for us. We have to always stay on top of chopped vegetables, okay? I cut this garlic 2 days ago. Look at it. It's beautiful. It doesn't change. And look at how much garlic that is. It's about 3 cloves. That's about 150 cloves, okay? So I'm just gonna be gone tomorrow probably. Mirepoix vegetable, carrot, onion, celery, a little bit of garlic, and we go a little bit of olive oil. Remember, we had a dry pan, so watch, it's gonna start browning right away. We've got our wooden spoon. Let's take our spoon. Here's where we start. Real time in it. Okay, let's take the spoon out of potatoes into the mirepoix. Okay. Then we've got this red stuff, orange stuff, potatoey stuff, stuffing stuff. Oh, and the smell. Look at that. Okay, smell that. Okay. Even if you're wearing a mask, you can still smell this. Let's put a little butter. Here, go back to your butter. Remember this? Okay, just start whacking chunks of butter off, okay? Because you're gonna need them. Potatoes are coming here, your gravy, all that needs butter, okay? So stuffing. Oh, Dave, can I substitute butter? No, use butter. And you can use olive oil, great, it's not a problem with that. You can use different stocks in here. I'm gonna use chicken stock. Maggie, filming right now, is gonna say, why don't we use vegetable stock? She's gonna be very angry at me. Don't change a good fat for a bad fat. Don't change butter for margarine. Don't do that, okay? Look at our cranberry sauce, it's done. See how it's kind of flowing from the pan? It's getting a little thicker. The cranberry sauce is very sexy looking, okay? That is done. I'm just gonna leave it right there. Beautiful. This is part of the technique. You've got to get these veggies sauteed. You've got to get the veggies sauteed where they're kind of getting a little bit brown. You know, for Thanksgiving and for family and for certainly for customers that we do here at the shop at Dave's Specialty Foods, we make our own chicken stock, okay? But when I'm doing a demo like this, especially a virtual demo, I want to make cooking more approachable so that you can use really good ingredients. This is really good stock. It's organic. I think this one's from Costco, but very, very good, approachable. I purposely want to do that. Oh, that's familiar. I can do that. In we go. Got a lot of butter in here floating to the top. We're going to add some chicken stock. We're going to bring this to a boil. We're going to add some herbs de Provence. Very lovely. Smell that. In goes the herbs de Provence. Get real familiar with this because this is going to go in a few things. In goes some salt and pepper. Okay, be careful. If your stock is salted, obviously don't salt it that much. If your bread is salted, take it easy because we may have too much salt. You guys pick. You pick. I don't care. You pick. Okay. If you want to go this way, don't invite me over. If you want to go this way, I'll be there at 6. There's our fresh sage. We're going to get pretty generous with this. Just going to line up our little leaves here, like little fingers. See that? And we're just going to julienne this. See how this is? I'm just slicing this. Don't cut your finger off. We're just going to ride our fingers like that. Okay? Here's your stock coming to a boil. I love it. Look at that boiling. Let it boil. We want to reduce it, strengthen the stock a little bit. You know what I mean? So the water is evaporating, meaning the stock is sort of decent tasting. Now we reduce it a little, and now it's stronger, concentrated. Lots of pepper. Give it a little taste, okay? That's amazing. If you're afraid to add butter because someone doesn't like it, just go, look over there. See? We're going to turn that off. So, bread. Look at my bread. It's in a baggie. This is what we do here. So I use fresh bread from Fausto's. If you don't know who Fausto's is, look up Fausto's. It's a great bread place, a good friend of mine. When you cut this ahead of time for croutons, or you're cutting your own croutons, right? You guys know that, right? You cut bread, throw it in the oven with some olive oil on it. It's a crouton. Your croutons, store-bought croutons. Store-bought. I can't get low enough. Here, store-bought croutons. Can you see that? Your croutons. Do you see that gap? If you're taller, it gets bigger. If you're shorter, stretch out a little bit more. You're gonna cut this now and throw it in the freezer in a bag like that. This is fresh bread, because when you read a lot of recipes, they say take day-old stale bread. You ever tried to cut day-old stale baguettes? They're like a rock, you can't get through it. Cut it up, throw it in the freezer. Fresh bread, it's not that difficult, you guys, okay? So, let's get our stock here with all our veggies. We're gonna dump that right on top. How much is too much? Don't worry about it. Just real seriously, I'm gonna show you here. So the fresh sage will start to warm up here. Notice we didn't cook the sage. We're letting the sage just kind of warm up like this, okay? Now, what's nice about stock, go buy something like this. Have a backup, because you don't want to run out of homemade stock. Oh my gosh, I got it. Now I'm really stuck. And as I'm stirring this, I'm going, well, it's cool, but it needs a little bit more stock. Just take a little touch of that. Boom, wet it down just a little bit. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. See this? It's a saute pan. I'm gonna throw it right in here. I would maybe do the stuffing in the morning. Get it done. Put it in a pan like this. Kind of pasteurize it, not gonna go bad. Just let it sit on the counter. We've got a big job out of the way, and all we gotta do now, even if it gets ice cold, throw it in the oven and crunch up, get done. You've freed yourself of a burner, and you've got a lot of the prep done. I like to serve it in a pan like that. It's great. We're gonna throw this in the oven for about 20 minutes, let it get crispy. So we got two recipes going on at the same time here. We got mashed potatoes, and I'm gonna show you how to correctly make with the right, remember we talked about the right potato. And we got sweet potato puree that is gonna taste delicious. This will be delicious, and this will be delicious. And then we're gonna mix the two deliciouses together, and they will be double delicious. There's two very important things. We're gonna mash the potatoes hot. You cannot mash potatoes that are more than about 10 minutes off the boil. They have to be mashed while they're hot, while they're fresh, because the starch in the potatoes will flip and it'll start getting shiny. And number two, we've got milk boiling here. When you add milk to mashed potatoes, the milk has got to be hot, okay? When I lived in France for a while, we learned this, and I thought it was very strange, but I call it cappuccino milk. And we'd add the frothed cappuccino milk in there, the best mashed potatoes I ever had, until I started making them this way. Now these are really good. If you add cold milk to mashed potatoes, you need to change this right now. The potatoes go like this, they freak out. They kind of just freak because you got this cold shower. It's like you in the shower. You're gonna be freaking out. What happens is, it stirs like twice around in the pan, boom, the potatoes suck up the milk right away. So the milk is starting to rise up, okay? It's starting to puff up a little bit like this. Let's see, it's starting to boil like that. And it looks like cappuccino. See, it gets all frothy on the top. We're gonna shut that off. We're done. That's gonna be hot milk for our potatoes. If you want, sometimes I put a towel on your cutting board, okay? And we're gonna add some salt and pepper to this, okay? We're gonna add butter in a second. Okay, get that pepper roll going. I like it, I like it. I don't care if you like it or not, I'm putting it in. Okay, let's mash. Now you see the what do you call it, the steam coming out of here? We're just gonna mash this, don't kill it. You know what I mean, you guys? Don't go killing this thing. Even when we make these for 100 people, I stand in a milk crate and I mash them with this giant masher that we have, okay? So I never put these in the machine. That's it. Just get them to where they're mashed, they're a tiny bit chunky, that's fine. In goes our hot milk. See this hot milk? Okay. How much should I pour? Just a little bit to get them mixed now. All right, we're gonna take a chunk of butter. Okay. Look, over there. All right, now. It's just, look at that, it's just coming together. the potatoes, I can't stress this enough. The potatoes should just, see how they just plop? Look at it, I'm gonna shake it a little bit. They plop. They're not stringing down like cookie dough. They're over whipped, they're over mixed, and they get all starchy, and you got all, and look at this. Even on camera, I'm sure this looks very smooth to you. There's very little lumps in here. I've got the skins in there, but let's taste. This is so basic and simple and so stupidly basic that it's easy to get wrong. Good mashed potatoes aren't that easy. They're not that easy. Awesome. But I need a little bit of salt and pepper. I need a little bit more pepper. Okay. A little touch of milk in here. This is not easy to get a really, really, really good mashed potato. It's a little soft. I like that. Remember, these potatoes they just, in about 10, 15 minutes when we eat them, they'll firm up a little bit, okay? Plus, we're gonna add our sweet potatoes. Now, my sweet potatoes are cooked. How do I know? And look at this, it just smooshes. It just smashes like that. It's perfect, okay? So we need the miracle seasoning here called salt. Just a little salt, okay? Lots of pepper. Remember, sweet potatoes. So we got sweet. Let's make it a little hot and spicy. A little pepper, so you got sweet and hot together. Back to our butter, you guys, come on. If you got 10 people coming over, I guarantee you're gonna go through a pound of butter. All right, so we're gonna mash our sweet potatoes. Let's put more butter. Why? Because I think it needs more butter. We're gonna put a little maple syrup, just a little touch of maple. It's awesome. You don't want too much. I don't want sweet, but I just want a little bit of fall flavor into the sweet potatoes. Let's go, sweet potatoes. Think perfect. Yes. Let's wreck it. Okay, now you guys have to do this when this is fresh. You can't do this tomorrow when the potatoes are all hard. You know what I'm talking about. This leftover tomorrow, you could cut it with a knife. It's like a bread pudding. But now, we want to swirl this. We don't want to make an orange tinted potato. So we just want to swirl this in 3 or 4 times around. That's it. Let's leave it. So when we serve it, you got, look at that. You got this swirled kind of striped zebra potato, okay? Perfect. Look at our cranberry sauce, done, perfection. This is real time, you guys. Look at how it's gelled up. It's perfect, okay? It's just really, really nice. We've got our potatoes hot, fresh. We've got our cranberry. We've got our stuffing in the oven still. It's still crusting. We've got our acorn squash just coming out right now. See? It's all coming together. No sweat, no mess, no stress. Remember, we did the hot pan. So we got Brussels sprouts. So we're gonna cut the bottom of the Brussels sprout off. See that? Okay, this Brussels sprout has a little browning on it. That's fine with me. Okay, I'm not that uncomfortable with that. And we're just gonna take our Brussels sprout. We're gonna cut it once. We're gonna make it flat, and then we're gonna slice it. We're gonna shred this, okay? Make these Brussels sprout shreds. Okay, you guys see what I'm talking about here? So we just cut the brown bottom off of there, and we kind of have this nice Brussels sprout slices. I did about 8 Brussels sprouts ahead of time, and look at how many it makes, okay? We're gonna add a little onion. Remember, dry pan. Nothing in there, it's a little bit hot. A little bit of onion in there. Okay. You can barely hear it now. Listen now. It's gonna start sizzling big time. We're gonna get our onion a little color. Look how fast that is. 20 seconds. Boom. A little more olive oil. In go our Brussels sprouts. Look at that. Perfection. Okay. But we sauteed that onion to get a little flavor, a little browning in the onion. This is the technique part. You say, oh, I did your recipe, and it wasn't near as good as the one we tasted at your shop. I find out that they put them all together, and the onions weren't correctly flavored. Okay, now watch this. We're gonna flip this. Okay, it's really efficient to do it this way. Brussels sprouts are these little tiny rock-hard cabbages, and they will surprisingly only take about 4 or 5 minutes to cook here. We're gonna begin the process by adding salt. Normally I don't add salt when I'm cooking vegetables till the end. We're gonna add it now so it will soften, and water starts coming out of the Brussels sprouts. It'll start softening this, okay? Look at this, you guys. See? Remember I told you your little seeds are all chunky and roasted? Toss these with a little bit, touch of egg white and salt, and throw them in the oven for 1 minute, and they'll be beautiful, and they'll be roasted, salted seeds. Our squash is nicely cooked, you guys. It's just soft. You can squeeze the edge here. Look at how it's all liquidy and buttery and fatty in there. And it's just, see how soft it got? Perfect, perfect. Look at it. Some cranberries. A little touch of cranberries in there. Oh, a little more olive oil, just a touch. Nice, okay, look at this. Okay, these are nice cooking down. Oh, awesome. Let's turn this down a little bit. Okay, I have some chopped almonds that are roasted salted almonds. Just like chunky like that, okay? A little chopped almonds in there. Nice, okay? I'm gonna finish this with a little bit of Parmesan cheese. okay? Just a little touch. Shake and stir. You smell that? Oh my gosh, it's amazing. The cheese, okay, we're gonna shut this off, okay? What's gonna happen is the cheese is all melting and sticking on the bottom. It's okay. Let it get kind of crusty flavored, okay? Just gonna let this sit here, okay? That's gonna finish cooking on its own, okay? All right, so we've got everything prepped. Now we're gonna carve our turkey. And one thing you're gonna notice about this is the turkey's already been cooked, it's rested. Now we got a chicken. It's a little like Jezebel turkey. It's not Tom turkey. People are cutting turkey the wrong way. But I never stuff a turkey. The reason I never stuff a turkey is because it doesn't cook properly. Cook a turkey without stuffing, the heat will get into the cavity, the big hole here, and it cooks the turkey on the inside just as much as the outside, so it cooks the bones. Because you know, have you ever cut a turkey and it looks fine, and you get into slicing it and it's a little bit raw in the leg or whatever? It's because the bones aren't hot. If the bones aren't hot, how can the meat next to the bone be cooked? You have to get the bones hot. How do you get the bones hot when they're wrapped in meat? I never stuff a turkey. If you want to put some onions and oranges or something in there, I put oranges in there sometimes, fine, but don't pack it in there, loosely pack it. More time, which means a drier turkey. Why is it dry? Because there's no fat in a turkey. Don't stuff it, okay? So we've got our turkey, it's done. That's a whole other topic about how to know when it's done, and the temperature, and how do I cover it with foil? Cook the turkey the way you've been cooking it, or call me or something. Here's what we're gonna do. We got a platter here ready to go. We're not gonna use the platter yet, I'm gonna show you why. We've got our legs and we've got our wings. This is a chicken, but it's just like a turkey, okay? We're gonna start with our legs. And my turkey's rested, which, if it's rested, it's not super hot. The point is, I can actually carve the chicken or the turkey without going okay? So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna cut our little legs off, okay? I'm gonna take the whole leg right off. See that? I'm gonna take the whole leg right off. We're gonna visit this in a second, all right? This is all the stuff that comes out of the roasted bird, and it's the stock. We'll save that, okay? It's just gotten a little cold. Let's take our wings off, and the wings are just gonna literally cut off, okay? All right, now that's called the dark meat, okay? The legs and the wings are dark meat, okay? And actually, if you look at a turkey, that's not the right side of a turkey. That's the bottom of the turkey. The turkey walks around like this, right? If you carve the turkey with the breast still on the meat like this, everybody does this. Oh, look at the beautiful turkey breast. Okay, this is very complicated here, but I'm just gonna delve a little bit into this. The meat on the chicken, look at this, watch this. So this is, we carved it like this, we pulled it off. The meat pulls apart like strings. See this? It's like long strings. See that, you guys? The problem with that is, we've all heard you gotta cut against the grain when you cut a meat. The strings are going up, you're cutting it with the grain. The problem is gonna be dry, because you're chewing into the grain. So the grain is long like this, and you're chewing down onto the grain. So it's chewy and dry. So we need to cut the chicken or the turkey like this. How do you do that? Because the grain's going up like this. So we need to cut this like this, not with the grain. We need to cut against the grain. So we're gonna take the entire breast off of the bird. How do we do that? We're gonna cut down, right, kind of offset in the middle. Let me get my alarm here. So we're gonna cut the bird down the middle, and then we're just gonna pop it open here, and we're just gonna follow this bone. We're just gonna literally start falling apart if it's cooked properly. If you've gotten part here and it's raw down here, well, then you need to put it back together and throw it back in the oven without the legs, okay? But let's hope you didn't do that. And we're gonna take the whole breast, look at this. Take the whole breast right off. I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna do this again, okay? I'm gonna take the whole breast right off of the bird completely. Your whole family's gonna have a heart attack right now, and they're gonna, you're doing it wrong. So you gotta be confident when you do this. Look at that, it's a whole breast. So we've got our breast now. Remember, you used to cut this with the grain like this, okay? That's no good. We need to cut this down into the bird like this. So when you do this, you've got meat that's it just even looks, look at it. So the grain, remember I pulled apart the other one with strings? The grain, the strings are going down like this. Does this make sense to everybody? Instead of you chewing on strings, look at that. The grain is going like this. You've only got this little bit. Look at this, it falls apart. It's so tender. You changed everything by cutting this the right way. And when you do this properly, you keep the skin, look at that skin on each slice, okay? So don't let your family in the kitchen say, get out right now, okay? Now you're gonna say, oh, Dave, well, wait, how do I do this? It's gonna be all cold. We're gonna take the turkey, we're gonna put the whole thing back on our platter that we cooked it on, okay? We're gonna put it on here, we're gonna throw it in the oven for 5 minutes. Let all the meat warm up, right? Let it all warm up. By the time you carve a turkey, the meat's always cold. Even if it's not cold, it's not hot. I'm telling you how to make it hotter. Let's platter this, okay? So we've got our breasts coming out like this, see that? Okay, we've got our other breasts coming out like this, okay? Look at this, you guys, fantastic. We got there's our little parts I showed you how not to cut right. Bury that in there, okay? There's your little skin there, okay? We've got wings, put those in the back here, okay? We've got our dark meat. What do you do? Oh, Dave, how do I do this? Okay, you got your big old turkey drumstick up there, other big old turkey drumstick right here, and you got this. Oh, if you're carving dark meat, stop it, okay? Just take your hands and break it apart. Dark meat never gets carved. There's a big bone in here. You can't carve it. We just let dark meat fall off the bone, okay? If it's warm or hot, fine, okay? Use a fork or something like that, but, you know, we got this beautiful dark, look at that. Awesome, you guys. Happy Thanksgiving. Amazing plate, classic, nothing too weird, but we've done a couple little twisty things. That's a pretty decent plate. My plate would probably be a little more packed. Bon appetit. Stop in the shop if you need any help with your side dishes. Dave's Specialty Foods. Dave and Maggie signing out. Peace. Eat well.